everyone, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Ollie, and I'm joined with my two favourite people, Will and Matthew. How are we both doing?
Did you say Will?
Did you say Will?
No, I said Phil.
I heard Will. Did you not hear Will, Matthew?
I heard Will.
I heard Will. Hey, tell us in the chat. Did you hear Will? Yeah. Let's get Ollie out of here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome
to Got Something For You Off-Season Pod.
Yeah. Wow. And after we just met in real life, too.
So crazy. And I was going to say, I had to make that big reaction coming in because I saw for the first time our photo from our IRL meetup, all the Survivor Now crew, popping up at the start of our intro here. It looks good.
Yes, we have had a bit of an update on our intro because we all got to meet up last week or 2 weeks ago. It still feels like
last week.
It does. Really does. But no, I was very excited to meet everyone. And obviously, since we've kind of come back and the season's been over, we've had a big development in the Survivor world with Survivor 50. So I do need to ask both of you, how were you feeling about everything that was going on there?
I guess just to start, we're going to be getting into a lot of things. We're going to be talking for a while about just a lot of Survivor 50 news. But if I can just say, I think that just having Survivor news has me excited. And so, yes, there are a lot of emotions swirling around the Survivor sphere, and we're going to be able to talk about all of them. Are they justified? Is there maybe a little too much hate, maybe a little too much excitement and love? We'll talk about it. But at the end of the day, I do think that just having things to talk about surrounding our favorite TV show, who's going to ever complain about that?
That's very true. Matthew, how are you feeling about it all?
I feel fine. I mean, to be completely honest, when Jeff sort of announced that this was going to be a returning player season and we were going to have a year of celebrations, I already sort of had the feeling that it was going to lead to inevitable disappointment at every single stage of it, because that's just, we're all fans. It's been how long since we've had a returning player season that wasn't Winners at War? It's that type of thing where there's just there's so many ways that they could have created this cast. And this is the cat we got. I'm personally excited to see each one of these players back for very specific reasons, but it is interesting how it all kind of shaped up, and it does feel a little unbalanced, I'll just say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely get that. Well, obviously, like you said, we are doing a special one-off podcast because being as we are the show that looks into social media, we did have a very big reaction to the cast of Survivor 50, and we have a very special The Tribe has posted. First of all, that feels so weird, that being at the start of the stream and not
really does. There's something a little jarring about that. I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, this is early for the tribe.
But we are here with The Tribe is posted. So for those of you that have been living under a rock for the last week, as we said, the cast of Survivor 50 have been announced. I do just want to plug, if you haven't, we did do a stream. We did a live reaction to it. It was myself, Randy, and Abraham. So I would just say, go check that out. It's a little plug. But for those of you that haven't seen it, we are going to quickly reveal the cast. There is a spoiler on the next slide. This is like your 5-second warning to go away. But this is the cast of Survivor 50. Gentlemen, just initial reactions. How are you feeling about seeing these faces? Is there anyone particularly you're excited for?
Look, Survivor is a game where contestants love to use analogies, and not to, dig up my own, but this feels like when you show up to a 20-year high school reunion, right? By that point, you're looking at people. There is like something in your gut about some of them, others you're completely indifferent about, but you still see them and you recognize their face and you go, oh my God, there's Colby. But, you might not walk up to this person and share a drink. You might not have too much conversation, but at the end of the day, there's still a warmth in your heart and in your stomach to just be seeing these people on your screen again. And I feel like that's how I feel. There are absolutely people on this list that I am stoked to see. I mean, absolutely out of my mind stoked to see. And there are others where I go, oh yeah, I went to school with that guy. And I'm sure we will talk about both.
Phil, how do you know what a 20-year reunion feels like?
Yeah, that's the thing. I have absolutely no clue what that would feel like. I just imagine. Yeah, I guess if I was at a 20-year reunion, I would be 8. I would have graduated when I was 8. But still, point being, it just feels like you know it is when you see people that you're but you don't have a care for. There's always that weird feeling where it's like, okay, well, there's recognition here, but I don't really care that much about this person. But I will say again, you're going to get some. There are also people on this list that I am absolutely stoked for. So I'm ready to sort of parse it down one by one.
Nice. Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, I said it all before. It feels unbalanced. I think Isabel's comment also really goes to say what I'm thinking. 50 was really hyped up and the description doesn't fit the cast. However, I'm still excited and don't blame the people cast. Who would say no to another chance to play?
Right.
You know,
right.
That's a great point. Also, our live chat is open. So as you can see, Sincere and Isabel, thank you so much for joining and for leaving your comments there as well. So the cast feels a little unbalanced. I think because we have half of the cast is made up of 10 seasons of Survivor, the later 10 seasons of Survivor. And even that is heavily weighed towards the newer seasons of the new era. So it's an interesting mix. Again, not really mad about who's cast, but it didn't really feel like what was sold.
Yes.
Yeah, I just really like Sincere's comment here. It's saying that it definitely feels inconsistent. But this is the big thing, the latter half, it's giving all-stars meets second chance. I really do feel like that is what it feels like. Because you're right. There are some of these people that are absolute legends of the game. I mean, one person that I am, screaming from the rooftops, I'm so happy to see again, Coach. Like, we are getting another Coach season in 2026. That's insane. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever would have. I don't think I ever would have had that on my bingo card. That said, it's weird to see Coach with I don't know. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here. Someone from the new era that feels as though they have not created an absolute a legacy behind their name the way that Coach has.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you both. I mean, I feel like how they were shaping it was like legends and every season every kind of era represented. And I don't necessarily think we've got that. I agree with your point, Matthew, in regards to like the new era. I think there's slightly too many, but we've got some posts to show that, that we're not the only ones thinking that. But I will start off with kind of posts that we've seen that are celebrating Survivor. So just so everyone knows, these are a past players post. These are alumni posts. These aren't people, just random people I found off the internet. They are people that have played Survivor. I can say that I looked through over 150 social medias of castaways. Yes. Like, I think there is at least 50 players here that I will be mentioning today, which is very fun. So, are you ready? Are you boys ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Ready. Take us down the journey.
Perfect. And
hi, Brian.
Actually, yeah, Brian's in the chat. You did get here at the right time. Same with Sincere. Whilst the chat is going on, I will say, don't worry about snubs. Don't worry about everything. We've got all of that ready to go. So, the first lot of things that I found on social media was celebrating the people that were on the cast and who past alumni were rooting for. First of all, we're going right to season 48. We've got some 48ers celebrating Kyle, Camilla, and Joe. You've got Bianca. Eva was my favorite one that I found. Eva, because this was an original thing that someone else had posted, and then she reposted it saying, waiting for my best friends to return from Survivor 50. Obviously wishing them free luck. And Say, being the queen that she is, saying to people, guys, this cast is phenomenal. Leave me alone, please. To say, like, they were wanting possibly Say to be like, nah. But Say was like, actually, no, I like this cast, so you can go away with all of that. I'm going to speed through these ones just because they are just all celebrations. If either of you two want to speak on these.
Well, I will say I'm not mad at the fact that there are people from 48 and 49 here. It actually makes sense to me from a creative production standpoint, because they're always going to consider there might be new people joining Survivor for 48 and 49, and we want them to watch 50. So they obviously are going to put people that even if you watch, if 49 or 48 were your first seasons, you have people to root for in the returning season.
That's very fair.
I just also, I'm happy to see Celebrate here. And again, like I feel like you will see me sort of try to toe this tightrope during this entire podcast where, I talked to Matthew about it offline. I feel like there is a little bit of overhating happening with the cast. And it's this weird mix where it's not a perfect cast, but were we ever expecting a perfect cast?
Yeah.
And it is so subjective, it is tough to get a true cast of, they upped the number to 24, more players on a season than has ever touched US Survivor ever. And they are still getting a lot of grief from the fan base. And it's one of those things where I hope that people feel much like say here, like the comfort and freedom to celebrate the good picks and not focus on the ones that people are not interested in. And not to mention, and this is just what it is, right? I have heard people complain about certain choices on 50 that I'm excited about. And check it out, vice versa. I have surely been excited about certain contestants that I have heard people be very frustrated with. So it's just, this is why I say I think that the good thing about all this is the conversation. We are talking about Survivor. Like that's right. Sorry, it's sincere. I had to. Someone had to, right? I just think like the conversation is what's great about this. We're talking discourse. We're all Survivor fans are getting to talk about something. It's all good. All good.
Very true. I mean, I can relate to that in the sense of the reaction video that we did. It was quite funny because it was Roy, who's always in our chat, actually commented saying, "Does Ollie ever support a male castaway?" And that's very true. I don't. But Sincere's right. A Survivor fan's number one personality trait to me is complaining. But with this cast, I mean, yeah, you're right, Phil. There is going to be people that we love. There's going to be people that we don't like. I've definitely been vocal on that. And that's
I saw you and Randy go to town on Twitter. So.
Oh well, yeah, I did. I was like, did I? I was like, no, I did go to town.
Yeah, you did.
I even went to town on Instagram, TikTok. Just throwing up Sincere's comment here when it comes to 48, because I love these things as well. He would have chosen Thomas, Say, or Camilla. So I think that's an interesting pick there. But gonna move right along to 47, because if there's one thing I know about the 47 cast, they are all going to praise their own. And there's been so many, like, I think every single person from 47, like, sent some love to Genevieve. I've only got a few here. Soul, Rachel, Arnica, Teeny, and also there's Sierra and Sam. Like, literally, I could have done, like, 6 slides just on the 47 cast celebrating Genevieve. So we've also got Kenzie and Benj sending some love towards their 46 cast members. We will have some more coming up, but it was a bit more shady. But we've got Kenzie sending love to both Q, Charlie, and also Tiffany. And I liked Ben's one as well because it showed his cast members, but also there was a couple of other people you saw there. You see Coach, you see Mike White, you see Dee there as well. So if there's one thing about Ben's going to share the love with everyone. I've just seen Brian's comment here. Sorry, just agreeing with Phil. Just thought it's not just Zan's. What were you going to say, Matthew?
Appreciate you, Brian.
No, I think I also saw Isabel. I think you showed some love for Tiffany, and I'm so excited to see love for Tiffany. Let me see if I can find the comment, especially because I feel like Tiffany, out of most of the picks here, I think there's more of a question mark on like, does she need to be here? And I'm excited for her to answer that question because honestly, everyone cast has a reason for being there because productions or they went through this audition process that production saw, okay, yeah, there's a story here that we can tell. So I'm excited for Tiffany to join. I'm really excited for Q. I think we've been sort of talking about Q joining 50 for a long time now. That Q's involvement in the season did not surprise me at all.
No. I think, when it came to 46, like Q was the person I was like he was someone I knew was going to be a lock for 50. And actually, as the season has gone past, like I was absolutely fine with Q being on the cast because I think it made sense. Like in one season, he had shown not a legacy, but he had shown something to warrant, us seeing him again and seeing some more through lines and storylines with him. Phil, you want to say something?
I mean, come on. It's Q season, baby. We're back. I am so excited to have Q back on my screen. I mean, he is a bundle of chaos. I have heard so much discourse just even about, since he's been cast, there are some people that believe that he straight up might go out there and quit. There are others that believe that he can go out there and get the win. And it's just like, someone that has that type of variance is the definition. He is the best version of a wild card player, and I am so excited to see him out there. And to your point, Ollie, he's the type of casting where whether you love him or you hate him, Q made you feel something. And that has always been my argument for Q. And I remember that season. Oh boy, me and Ollie thought different of that man. However, I do just think that you gotta have contestants that make people feel something. I mean, I'm not seeing it here, but something that I did clock, first of all, hilariously, Venus posted on her story.
Oh, we've got that. We've got that. Don't you worry.
Let me not spoil. But that is what I'm talking about. It is like this cast. They all have opinions of each other, and they are happy to make them loud. And I love it. I love it.
I was going to say,
I'm very excited for all three of these people. To be
also, hey, Amy, good to see you.
I was going to say, I was going to bring up Amy's comment because it is the big question with Q. Will there be hide and seek again?
If it's not hide and seek, it's going to be a different childhood game that they're going to play. And he's going to take some notes from.
And Isabel is agreeing with you, Phil. Q is so electric. We saw him on kind of Bryson Wynn's podcast. And also, I want to say Brian's comment here. You always love an outsider pick, and I'm happy for Tiffany. And I see that because I think I'm not comparing Tiffany to these people. I'm comparing the casting choice, how people see the casting choices. I understand what people were saying when Tiffany was maybe not oh, really? Why this pick? But we have seen that in quite a lot of the casts before. I mean, think back to Heroes versus Villains with Candice. Everyone was kind of like, wait, Candice? And then she surprised us. Even Amber from All Stars, people were like, oh, really? She went on to win.
People forget that Kelly Wentworth did not necessarily make her name in her initial season.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of people feel like when she went back out there was the same question of Kelly Wentworth. Okay. I mean, all right. She was a fine contestant, I guess, but what did we need her back out there? And guess what?
Yeah.
We did. We absolutely did.
Yeah.
And I think that Tiffany is someone you're absolutely right, Matthew. I mean, I have been following the discourse here. There we go. Parvati on 16. It was a weird hit. And she became a legend. And so, I do think that Tiffany, there's room for her to grow on this season. However, I do understand what the community, the community is not, coming up with this out of nowhere. I do understand why this is said. Why people are seeing her cast on this season and go, okay, that's interesting. Especially when I do think that someone like Q, it is just absolutely obvious why he needed to be out there.
Yeah.
And even someone like Charlie, it makes sense in his story why he would be out there. He was the second place finisher who a lot of people believe should have won. He almost was the Aubry from her original Korong season, right? They rushed to get her on as well after her losing season. Tiffany, I just feel like the story is not as prepackaged. However, I do not believe that means that she should not be out there.
Yeah, that makes it exciting.
Completely agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for Tiffany. I was excited for her during 46. I can't wait to draft her again. But we are going to move on to Some love for Stephanie. We had Colby and Danny send some love to Stephanie. I will say read Colby. Colby had loads of pictures and a big debrief, so I would say you can go look at that if you wish for Stephanie. And then next up, we have some love for Sari. Of course, there's people that are going to love Sari. You have Andrea. And I believe it says, and I will be smiling every time you see me. And it's something about a blindside. She was like, and I'll also smile every time you blindside me. Yes, Phil?
I apologize. Was the last slide, was that our Colby section, or was that Colby just talking about
No, so that was Stephanie, and it was Colby. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, Colby. Okay, sorry. I misheard you. I've got something on Colby when we get there. Pardon.
Okay. I'll go on there. But yes, then there's also Eliza from Vanuatu and Fans versus Favourites showing some love to Sari, and also Poverty sending some love to not just Sari, but there was also some love to the Black Widow Brigade. Next up, we have Aubry, and I kind of did these two. There was Aubry and Ozzy, and then I believe there's like a bit of coaching here as well. You've got Zeke from Millennials versus Gen X. He says, give me Aubry, Coach, and Ozzy all day long. Again, you've got Eliza. She did a big post. So these are just two of the clips. It was one of Sari and then one of Sari and Ozzy as well. And Andrea, once again, from Redemption Island, when it was what are her thoughts on 50. And it's just a lot of love to Aubry. I would personally say Aubry was a left field choice for me. I'm not sure how Aubry is going to do, but I can understand why there is some love for Aubry. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know if either of you two have anything to say there.
I absolutely do. I mean, this is when it gets into the subjectivity of it all. I am obsessed with Aubry, and I have been for so long, and it is so strange to see, Ollie. I have seen exactly sort of what you are sort of sprinkling out. I have seen that sentiment where a lot of people are going, Aubry, really? And I am excited. I am really, really excited to see her. If I can be so bold, I do think that the biggest reason why there has been a bit of, I'll just say it, negativity around Aubry's casting for 50 is, I'm sure we've all heard it through the rumor mill. There is an idea that fans have of a spot that she took. There we go. We are on the same plane. We are both Aubry truthers. There is, once again, there's an idea, I don't know if it's true or not, that has been formed from the fan base of a spot that Aubry has taken. And I think that is why.
Oh.
That was not Ollie or I. Phil genuinely just dropped off of the stream. To kind of build off of what Phil was going, I actually did not hear any of that discourse, so I'm interested to hear what that's about. But I will say that's not, Aubry has no control over. There's Phil.
Oh,
Aubry has no control over which spot she takes in the casting process.
Yes.
So it's ridiculous to sort of say, Sincere says the Aubry dislikers have eliminated Phil out.
Yeah, that was funny. Wild. Yeah, all the did Phil know too much? But yeah, Matt, you got it. Yeah. Aubry did not choose to take someone's spot. If it happens, it happens. I do not think that people should use that as a reason to not be excited for her on the season. Please,
I'm excited to see her back. You know what? It was honestly, I don't really remember the season that much. But what was it? Edge of Extinction, where she came back with like 3 other people.
Yes.
Wentworth was one.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
I feel like any one of those returning players who played that season, I feel like just kind of needs a redemption of some sort.
Yeah, because I think that was initially how I was feeling with Aubry, because I was like, remembering her last season was Edge of Extinction, and I was like, oh. Because I was like, maybe that, like, I did think at something, maybe that was her swan song, like that was her kind of done with it, but you never know. My interesting fact is I want to know how Aubry is going to do with a certain someone we've already talked about, because lest we forget, in 46...
Gemini, that's funny.
That is the funniest bit ever. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. With Aubry, someone on 46, Q, actually targeted Mo because she gave off Aubry vibes. So I'm intrigued to see how Q and Aubrey. See, that's a deep one there, wasn't it?
Wow.
I'm intrigued to see how those two do, especially because there may be a scene that, you know, you could see Q and Aubrey talking, and then a flashback to Q goes back, and then a confessional to Aubrey being like, I remember what he said.
Yeah. Very excited for that. Also, people like, and this is because Aubrey has played on so many seasons, and I do think that, I mean, she was not on Edge of Extinction too long, but the truth is she has a dynamic with Rick as well.
Yeah.
Which is someone that we will get to. And I do think that Aubry and Rick are two very different types of players. I do not think that they are going to be working together in this season, but I'm excited to sort of see what happens.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm gonna keep this going. We have got a few from Bryce and Wen now. From if people don't know, Bryce from Cagayan and Wendell, the winner of Ghost Island. They were sending me. Well, they weren't sending me, but they were posting loads of content. I don't know. They personally wanted to be on this. No. So Bryce and Wen sending some love Tiffany's way to coach the Dragon Slayer himself. We've got some more. We've got Q and Sari. They managed to get, and this is what I really love about Bryce and Wen. They managed to get a photo with practically all of the cast. They did some love to the 48 people. Most of the new era they got pictures of. I think they managed to get most people except maybe Jenna Lewis. But yeah, just big, massive props to Bryce and Wen for getting all that love out there. I've just seen this question. If every player gets a flashback, what moments would we see? Oh, I don't know. This is a question from Brian. Can you think of any maybe flashbacks we could see? There would definitely be some from here. I could see one from Heroes versus Villains, potentially Sari and Colby, possibly, because I think him and Tom Westman were a part of Sari's demise in Heroes versus Villains, so maybe something like that. I don't know.
There could possibly be some Coach and Ozzy throwbacks. Yes. Those two are well documented, not fans of each other. Again, very, very excited to see that play out. But something from that era. Matthew, any thoughts?
I don't know. It depends on, it depends on how the story shapes up. I feel like Ollie in my response just now. It depends.
I was going to say that was a very
Ollie has taken over the Matthew spot, and Matthew has taken over the Ollie spot where he's just I don't know.
So yeah, it depends. I think depending on how the story shapes up, it's going to be interesting to see which players get more of the focus.
Yes, completely agree, especially with like 24 people. I didn't hear this from Gemini. I personally, I would have loved to have seen Bryce come back for something, so that would have been hilarious.
It wouldn't, honestly, that doesn't surprise me that, like Bryce would be the type of player to say like, oh, I might be disappearing for a few weeks just to like stir the thing,
Yeah. Oh, good, yeah. Gemini's also saying that he thinks he could see like a flashback between Sari and Ozzy. Sure. Isabel's thinking Tiff and Q, absolutely. And also Charlie and exposing it to so yeah, I definitely think we can see a lot of flashbacks happening.
Mike White and the wine.
Yes. We will get to that. Get to that. That's something cuter. Next up, we've got this is some mishmash ones. It was at this point I was trying to find loads. We've got Poverty sending some love to Mike White. We've got Lauren from Edge of Extinction showing some love to Aubrey, and Ron, Mr. Ron Clark himself from Survivor Edge of Extinction, got his little jumper, and I believe it is Q, Ozzy, Aubrey, Camilla, and Sari. And at the bottom, you can't read it, but he says, "I will die on this hill." So
kind of shady. He did play with Rick, but all right. Like that is kind of wild. That is so bold. I'm blown away that is an omission.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to talk about this when we get here. What did Rick do to these people? They're like fans included.
Let's talk about it now. Talk about it now.
There is such a same thing. There are certain contestants that get such disdain from the fan base and even like the Survivor community. And that's the thing, Ollie. Like, let's talk about it. Why are you a Rick naysayer? I I am someone, I loved Rick. I loved his season. I loved watching him be the star of this season.
Mhm.
And I do understand that people found him very annoying. However, I just don't get the Rick hate. I don't get it. You're thinking about a polite way to say this.
Yes, I am. No, so obviously, I when it came to Rick and his game, I very much it didn't correlate with me. It wasn't one that like spoke to me personally. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Yeah, I just.
But this is my whole thing. There's nothing anyone can like. Oh, there's nothing that people can actually place for why they don't like Rick. And I'll say this. I mean, look, it's all on the internet. The way that even Tyson spoke about Rick lately in his podcast, he was just like, Rick goes out there and tries to be funny. I don't think he's funny. And it's just like, it's so interesting. Once again, fans and past survivors included, there was really just an opinion about Rick. And I just found it really interesting. I did not see Ron's post here. And so it is wild to see that he made this hoodie and did not put a contestant that he played with on there. This is very, very bold. Matthew,
I will say, this whole conversation, I was looking at Ron's sweatshirt being like, how did he make that so fast?
Yeah.
I will say this. So Ron's post was a day or two later. So that's what, this wasn't like the day of. But
like, where do you go to make a sweatshirt?
It's Ron Clark.
I think
it's definitely
Yeah. I think when it comes to Rick Devens and Mike White especially, there's something interesting that like I am curious because I feel like the two of them have built more of a friendship with Probst than than certain players. That's not like a new thing. I think Jeff has constantly on returning player seasons has had like friends from the cast. Like it's just kind of been the thing. But it is interesting to me because I think that Probst has like more or less, I think without using his name, but said, oh, I have a friend who's in television. Like I think that he's discussed the show Survivor. This is all alleged, but you could look back to the first time they did On Fire with Jeff Probst, where like I think he did talk to Mike White about like television and Survivor evolving. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure for that reason if I would have cast Mike White and Rick Devens was just on the podcast, but at that point it's like, is it sort of crossing the line into knowing a little bit too much behind the scenes? Like, I don't know.
And this should be said, I mean, Rick and Jeff, you're absolutely right. They are like very, very buddy at this point. I do think that Jeff loves himself some Rick. However, this is a relationship that started after his casting, after he played.
Yeah.
Jeff and Mike White have been friends for years.
Yes.
And that is something that is well known, well documented as well. I mean, it's like, is that a conflict of interest? I do not think that it would ever play out on the island in a real serious way of, because you're friends with Jeff, like, you're getting a little extra rice here and there. Like I don't think it would ever actually play out in that way. But Matthew, I do want to give validity to what you said. I think there's something to be said about Rick and Rick and Mike coming together and being like, we're Jeff's favorites. We're actually friends with Jeff. And using it as an in to just, create a connection, create an alliance, right? I mean, it can be based on anything. And for them two to just be able to sit back and be like, yeah, like Jeff actually likes us in real life. We have his phone number. We can text him. These guys, they're just cast members. Like, I don't know. There might be something there. But I am really excited to see Mike back. The fact that he has blown up, like, he's 10x'd his fame since his first appearance. and even in his first appearance, he was, he was a famous screenwriter. So
School of Rock.
That's right. So
I think it's funny. Did you see that person on X be like, Mike White is definitely going to use White Lotus season 4 cameos as his
I was gonna say,
why would he not? And I think I'm excited to see how it works, Sorry, go ahead.
Well, because it was even like CBS Mornings, they were like, people aren't going to vote out Mike White because they're going to want a spot on White Lotus. And I was like, fair. Part of me would vote him out and then at the bottom say, please still keep me on White Lotus. That's what I did.
And Brian, you are correct, but I think that relationship started after the season.
Yes, I was going to confirm that happened after the season. That was, funny enough, that was done via email. That's just my little tidbit of knowledge.
Cool.
Everyone else knows like the historian side of Survivor. I know like the pop culture side of Survivor. But Marianne, I'm just going to show a couple more comments. She can't wait to see Coach and Ozzy. Still can't wait to see Camilla and Joe from 44, even though I like Carl. Would have rather had Shaheen, fair enough. And I don't know if this is a question towards me from Brian. Is it because they were the stars of their season? No. Me and Rick Devens definitely see the game differently. But moving on, I done these so long ago, and I've got so many slides. My brain's trying to remember what is what. Next up, we've got some more. These are kind of like the sweet ones. These are like some really like nice things that I kind of saw when I was doing my social media search. First of all, Rome, good old Rome from 47. He did send some love to Genevieve. I want to make that clear to people. He also sent some love to Dee and someone else. My brain's forgotten. But this is just one specifically to Ozzy, that apparently Ozzy was the reason that Rome applied. Like seeing how Ozzy played was what made Rome want to apply. We've got Evie from 41 sending some love to Chrissy. I love that Chrissy got some love. And it's just a very personal message that when Evie was recovering from their top surgery, Chrissy sent a really lovely message to them whilst also battling her own things. And then the lovely Sifu, who we love on this podcast from Survivor 45, he did such a nice post celebrating Dee and Emily. So I really wanted to make sure that was on here as well. Because again, it was similar, like Eliza, perfect example. She was sending so much love to Sari and a couple of other cast members. My brain can't remember them at the moment. But we have seen that majority of the Survivor contestants have been showing love, have been celebrating the people that are on their season, and a little bit more, which we'll get to. Do you have either of you have any comments here, or should I keep going?
I mean, let's go Chrissy, right?
I
absolutely love myself some Chrissy as well. She's another contestant where there are people that just like absolutely didn't click with her. They found her to be very unlikable, and I just don't agree. I'm a long time Chrissy stan, and I'm excited to see her back out there. I'm not surprised to see, and I'm not surprised. You know what I should say? I'm not surprised that she was asked, but in a weird way, I almost am a little bit surprised. I felt like that was, weirdly enough, I felt like Chrissy was going to be the Dominic of this season, where Dominic just for some reason isn't here. And it feels like he should be. I felt like that was going to be Chrissy, and I'm happy that it's not. But
yeah, I'm really happy that Chrissy was cast. When she was revealed during the live reaction, myself and Bruce had the biggest like cheer. Because Chrissy was someone that I was like, Chrissy deserves the chance to come back. She still has an untold story, and when it comes to the fans, like the deep-rooted fans, like she has been someone that has been on the fans' radar for ages. So I was personally very happy to see Chrissy back with the cast. Matthew, any thoughts?
No, I mean, I think I can speak a little bit more about Emily and Dee's involvement here. And I loved that message from Sifu. Big Sifu fan here. Emily and Dee, I think, are excellent casting choices. Emily had such a narrative on her season. Like it kept me watching the season just to kind of see like, how is she getting through day by day? And then her relationship with Caleb, who I really wish Caleb was here. I'm not going to lie. Also, Dee, I think, is a great like winner to return. I know some people are saying no winners on the returning season. It is what it is. I do think that Kyle is also here. Like I do think you can't have just like one winner if you're going to bring someone back. I think you need to have multiple. So like out of the winners that they chose, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's one of those. I could have been happy with the winners. I think maybe if I'd seen a couple more winners, maybe from the oldest seasons, like the Sepia, I'm always going to die on that hill. Todd, even someone like Yule, like just maybe a couple more. See, casting. But we're going to move on. The next set of posts that I have, thank you, posts. They are some funnier ones. And Phil, you were talking about Venus. I've got it right here. This is Venus celebrating her cast. She gave a little crown to Tiffany. She gave a little crown to Charlie. And that's Q's face censored out of the picture.
I literally that so funny. I'm so happy that you included this, Ollie. I knew that you would. Yes, the fact that she makes the caption "rooting for them," and it's Charlie and Tiff with the crowns. Q's face is censored. I think that's just so funny. That's just so funny.
And Matthew, I can let you know that Sheila in the chat also wanted to see Caleb as well.
I know. Yeah, Sheila, right? Caleb would have been such a great casting choice.
Yes.
But yeah, Ozzy. I have different feelings about Ozzy's involvement. It has nothing really to do with what Ozzy has chosen to do outside. That's up to him. I just think we've seen Ozzy, I think we've seen enough Ozzy, and I do feel hypocritical because in many ways we've seen a lot of these players. Like Sari has come back many times. I think Ozzy's come back many times. Ozzy hasn't shown me in the world of the game more reasons to have him back out there. But I think this photo op between him and Bryce is hilarious.
Can I just quickly, Phil, before you make your point, I just want to say with Bryce and Ozzy's photo, I can reveal I had another photo I could have chosen.
No, you couldn't have. No, you could not have.
No, we could not have. This was the tame version. I will say go to Bryce's Instagram to see that post. Phil.
It is hilarious. It is really funny. But Ozzy. I think that Ozzy is the perfect example of the fact that this season has such a loose theme makes it so hard to place whether or not Ozzy does or does not deserve to be there for me. The truth is, if the whole idea and branding behind this season was these are legends, let's see them come back out and do as they do, then absolutely I do believe that Ozzy deserves to be out there. And let me tell you, I'm happy to see him go out there and catch fish and be a challenge guy, be a provider. I'll see that again for the umpteenth time, because guess what? That's the point. We're celebrating the legacy of the show in each of these contestants in their runs. However, the fact that, once again, is this legends? Is this second chance? Is this a celebration? Is this people that were excited? I don't even know what to think about it. And so I do look at Ozzy, and it's I don't even really know what to think because I think that it all really had to do with how the season's branded, and I don't even really know how they want to brand the seasons.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I can't imagine how Jeff is going to welcome everyone on the first day. How he's going to describe. He always tees up the season of what we're going for here. I want to say, Sincere, your comment I think is beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that's amazing. I think if Ozzy is able to say, he's gone through a lot of changes. If he's able to say, I'm able to play more authentically than I ever have been, I'm interested to see what that looks like. So, that is something to be excited about.
Yeah, a more deeper level to Ozzy. That's what I would love to see. Just because I think that's where my not disdain for Ozzy as the person is. It's Ozzy as the casting choice. Just because it's loose. Brian says it perfectly. The theme is loose, yes, but at least more stacked and balanced than Game Change is very, very true. It is because Jeff had kind of made the theme this, that, and it kind of started going from this idea to then branching to this. That's why I need to understand more what the theme is or what the reasons are to then understand what my true feelings as Ozzy as a casting choice is. Again, I will never with the people. I will judge them on people things. But as the casting choices, I won't judge it on them because that wasn't their decision at the end of the day. But yes, Isabel agreed. I just want to see Ozzy play a little differently.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just quickly back to these slides here. We have Kenzie. It was just because someone had posted something, and this was all during the initial reaction, and it says Kenzie really got her million, had her baby, and minded her own business. And it's her kind of going, you won't see me on 50. So yes, gotta love Kenzie. We love Kenzie in this household. Next up, we have three social media posts that I saw that were just a bit funny, and it was just a reminder to players when it comes to the gameplay. First of all, this one is Andy from 47, sending some love to Kyle, actually, but you can't read this here. But at the bottom of his message, it goes, make sure to stay on Genevieve's good side on 50. Just a little reminder to Kyle. And then also Eliza, once again, Eliza was popping off. I would just say, if you haven't get her Patreon, she goes into deep dives. It's amazing. She's showing her love again for Sari. And it says, to the people who have already been plotting her demise, you won't read this because they're already en route to Fiji. She already knows you're coming, and she's so much smarter than you. So just remember that. And Hi from Survivor 42 loves him a bit of Angelina, and he's letting you know that she's coming to end your faves. So I agree. I love Angelina. Angelina is my favorite person to come on this cast. I know she's a controversial pick for other people. I love Angela. I can't wait to see Angelina back. Sorry, I've said Angelina.
We got Angela and Phil. Will.
Yeah,
Angelina. I love Angelina.
Angelina is like Q. I think that people have their thoughts on how she played and who she is as a person. I do not think that any person in the Survivor community has any gripe about her being on this season. Mm-hmm. She is the Q person. I have not seen it. I have not heard it. I have heard people say, I think that she is just as out of touch as she used to be. I think that she thinks that she's learned her lessons, and she has not. But no one, and I have not heard a single person say that she does not deserve to be here. And I am so excited to see her play. I am also a huge Angelina stan, and I have been since David vs. Goliath. And I hope we see the same antics. I do not. What I don't want is for her to lean too much into her old shtick. I want her to create new shtick, or just be, like you said, just be a human out there. Don't try to give us the greatest hits. But I'm just stoked to see Angelina. I think that she is the Q of the 30s. I think that she is someone where no matter what you think, love her or hate her, she made you feel something.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I will say when I was doing my research and I was looking at everyone's reactions, and I have looked at the fans' reactions as well. The reason I've seen some disdain towards Angela, the determining factor.
Angelina,
my brain. I still haven't recovered from jet lag. I'm apologizing to everyone now.
You're good.
I know. Angelina. So the reason the people that I have seen give Angelina her disdain are actually more casual fans. Because when I see the asking reasons why, they openly say, oh, I don't really watch Survivor that much. Like, oh, I kind of scraped through her season. And it's like, this is more casual fans kind of having disdain towards Angelina. And I'm like, whatever. So that was why I just wanted to say that. After this, I will say we're kind of going on to a different topics. So, Phil, I know you had a comment about Colby, or you wanted to, if you want to talk about anyone else on the cast quickly,
yes,
now's the time to do so.
You got it. So I heard something about Colby, and it is the single thing that made me excited to see Colby. And now I shaded him at the top of the podcast. I apologize. He is one of those contestants for me. He is the person that I am going to the reunion and I go, oh my God, that's right. I went to school with him. Did that guy bully me? I can't remember. Like, right. I never connected with him personally. Mm-hmm. I got this from Tyson's podcast. They were talking 50. And I encourage a lot of people to listen to Tyson's podcast, because there are certain people that I believe were a bit burned by Survivor, and it feels like they are being more candid than ever.
Yeah, and we will get to that, don't worry.
Tyson is one of those people. If you listen to his latest coverage, he is more candid than ever about his thoughts on people, about his thoughts on process. And he talked about Colby, some things that I never knew. I don't think a lot of people knew. Colby and Jeff, Colby was on the show so early that Jeff had not been put on in the way that he is at this point. Colby and Jeff were roommates at one point. And the story goes that they were roommates. They had some sort of falling out. and that for the casting of 50, Jeff called Colby personally, and Colby picked up this call and immediately started crying and had this weird heart-to-heart apology moment, and that at that point he was put on the show. Now, if we are getting this version of Colby that, as we were talking about for some other contestants, is very transformative from what we've seen from him previously, where we are seeing a different side, where we were getting a look into like Pat's Survivor, past this whole series, who Colby is in maybe they can talk about that connection. I want to see something interesting and new. And that was something that I heard from Tyson that honestly made me very interested into what we might see from Colby and if it could be something different and new and interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder he was mad about that chocolate offer in Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, right. I'm reading that. It's funny. Yeah. Yeah. But that is just a story. I found it very interesting. I found it very touching in a way, to be completely honest. And it did make me a little bit excited to see Colby. Even though
whatever that was, if that's true, he probably was holding on to whatever he needed to talk to Jeff about for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, I think that there's something so interesting there, genuinely. Like, I think that there's something really, really neat there, And once again, how human, Jeff is at a point where he's larger than life at this point. He's the host of one of the biggest reality shows on television, the biggest, likely. And at one point, him and Colby were roommates. So strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's that.
Yeah. I will just. I don't need to talk about Colby. But I do just want to talk about someone else who some people I think is a weird casting choice. I'm really excited to see Jenna Lewis back from the first season, Borneo. I wasn't able to find much kind of content-wise here, but I was really excited to see Jenna come back. Even though I haven't been 100% happy with the casting choices and how the season, like the cast was laid out, I'm happy to see that in a celebration of Survivor, they have gotten someone from season 1. So I'm happy with that. And I'm happy that it was Jenna. I feel like we haven't seen her since, since All Stars. And when we look at like people like Q, people like Angelina, like Jenna had some moments in her that were she let you know how it was. She wouldn't worry about biting her tongue. So I'm excited to see that as well come into play. Matthew, you look like you had a comment.
They had no choice. If Survivor 50, if the cast came out and there was no representation from season 1 of all things, that would have been ridiculous. Like a celebration of where Survivor started and where we are now. If there was no season 1 cast member, I'd be like, really?
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
And also, I agree with Sheila. I love this comment here. I wanted to see Andy on 50. I did too. Genevieve was my winner pick, though. I'm really excited for Genevieve, Sheila. So yeah, we'll say.
We will say. Is there anyone else or anything else we want to talk about before we move on from all the cast celebrations?
No, I want to talk about Jerry. Sorry, go ahead, Phil.
I was just going to say I'm stoked on Coach, but I already got there. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for these old schoolers. I really am. I really, really am. Oh.
There are some old schoolers I'm happy to see on this cast. But we're going to move on now to some other posts that we've seen where I think it was you that brought it up, Phil, that some survivors have been very vocal about how they felt about the cast and how they felt about all of this going. The first person we're going to talk about is Queen Kelly Wentworth. Kelly, as soon as this cast was announced, I was on the stream and I was looking at Kelly's reactions. Kelly didn't necessarily love all of the casting choices. The first one here, she says, should have let the fans vote on the cast. I do agree. I think we could have seen at least some sort of casting, voting, or just like even saying, send us who you want on the cast. Send us who you'd love to see on the cast, so then they can get an idea of who the fans have voted for. And then I would say, go watch her reel on Instagram or TikTok. She gives her reactions to the cast and her opinions. And I actually think it is so well said and done in such a great way where she's not putting down the cast. She's putting down the idea that what Survivor 50 has been portrayed maybe isn't necessarily what we got 100%. I don't know. Did either of you two see Kelly Wentworth do all of this? I loved it personally.
Yeah, and again, it really just goes in line with what I said about Tyson. I think that there are certain contestants that feel especially burned by Survivor in this sort of climate, and they are ready to be as transparent as they've ever been online. And as a fan, I'm eating this up. I love it. I love it. But yeah, Kelly, I definitely know where she lies in all of her opinions because again, she has not parsed her words, and I'm thankful for it. What do you think, Matthew?
And honestly, I'm kind of happy to see Kelly Wentworth where she is now. You know, like I love her content. I think that she has like she's kind of found her niche, you know, like moving out. And I think that she's a wonderful commentator on competitive reality television shows. The thing that I found most interesting with her coverage of all of this is the fact that she said, like, I'm never going to get a call again if I'm never going to go on again. Does anyone know? Is there reasons for that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm serious. Like, I don't know if it's something that happened behind the scenes. I don't like she is very certain. You're smirking, Ollie.
Polar Nights. Polar Nights. Every time one of us changes our facial hair, I think of you. So I'm glad that you came into the chat.
I love that. Like, this is off topic, but for those of you, we were literally commenting on our beards before the stream, so that's just why it tickled me pink. Sorry, continue.
It's true. No. I was just saying. Yeah, I don't know the answer, but it definitely seems like she is certain that she's not in their good graces. But it might be a thing where, and look, I can sort of understand this. Like another sort of snub from this cast is Shan, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like right after 41, the way that we spoke about Shan, I mean, the way that like the whole Survivor community at large spoke about Shan, she was like, in my opinion, the next huge legend to step on the Survivor scene. And her getting the Shantham, then like getting specific editing around her, like all these things made it seem like Shan was a shoo-in to come back at some point. And a lot of people credit the fact that she has become outspoken in her social media about her experience on the show, all these things. I don't think that they love to not have control of the narrative. And so I do think that it might be something with like people who want to speak out on social media in general. Yeah. And I think that they're just like, no, you know, you want to capitalize off being a survivor? Well, you know, you're now a past survivor. You know, it's a shame.
I will say, Phil, put a pin in that because we will talk about that. There is some posts here that I have that specifically reference that and something that I do definitely want to talk about. Another castaway. Here he is. Sorry, Roy, you haven't been in the chat, but I just want to let you know I did talk about you earlier with your comment on the live reaction. So I will say, go back and watch it. I do love you, and I agree with what you said. Another castaway that had some reactions to the cast was Karen. I tell everyone, go watch her reel. She reacts to each castaway, and I feel like I was quite shady putting the picture of Joe up there. But Caroline absolutely like just does a quick synopsis of how she feels about each of the castaways, and I love it. Again, she's someone that I thought should have been in contention, but I'm glad to see that we're getting her reaction. Anything from there?
It doesn't surprise me. I think also because we knew, like everyone was warned, Carolyn would not be on 50. We knew weeks ago that she was not involved in the casting process anymore, and I think it definitely freed her up. And you know, if traitors wasn't the thing to free her up to be so candid about things, I think this was it. The Joe thing was shady, you know. I think forgetting his name, but you know, like I get it. But I already spoke about my thoughts on people from 48 and 49 playing earlier in the episode. But just to recap for anyone who's joining now, it makes sense, you know, because they want new viewers of the show to have someone to root for and follow. That's sort of the introduction to everyone else. But there was a lot that I actually did agree with from Carolyn's analysis. So, you know, it was a fun video.
Yeah. I will. You go, Phil.
Carolyn should have been out there. And like, this is the truth. You know, I am not even a huge Carolyn like stan, to be completely honest. Carolyn 100% should have been out there.
Yeah.
It is one of those things. It is like a Q. You cannot like Q, but you're still going to look at him and say he deserves to be on the season. I look at Carolyn. I am not the biggest Carolyn fan. I believe that there is almost no one that should have been out there from the new season. I'm sorry, from the new era, more than her and Q. So it is a shame that she's not out there. I'm blown away that she's not. And the only thing that makes me feel absolutely fine about her not being out there is it's Carolyn. We'll see her on a reality show soon enough.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, I want to bring up Sincere's comment because this is the rumors that I had heard as well. I don't know if so it's regarding why Carolyn may have not been on the season. I will say, anyone go check out the live chat. I won't bring it up, but I will say I agree with that comment. I've seen some discourse as well on that. And I agree with it. But
I don't. I don't think that's the reason. I think that's the reason that people are telling themselves. But again, there is like right in the face of you, there are like two versions of that just not being true, right? I mean, not only was Suri on Traders, but so was Stephanie.
Yeah.
And they played together on Traders. They also played together on Snake in the Grass. That's not the reason.
Yeah.
Something happened behind the scenes.
Something
behind the scenes. Yeah. Whether it was she pissed off a producer, I mean, look, I'll tell you what I think could possibly be it. Carolyn is on all these reality shows now. You know, Survivor is the show that put her on to start. There is a world where she showed up and, you know, said, hey, I'm the best thing out of the 40s. I'll go on, but I need X amount to get myself out there. And they might have looked at her and said, yeah, tough luck. And that becomes one of these things where, you know, Survivor feels like, oh, you know, we made this person's whole reality TV career. And Carolyn, rightfully so, she is the talent. She's the personality. I think she's like, hey, I can put myself on any show and shine. Now, you know, my rate went up. I just feel like it's more behind the scenes stuff. I don't think it has to do with creators. I think that like, I really, this is like maybe one of my stronger opinions. I think it has nothing to do with traders. I think it has more to do with Carolyn growing as a reality TV personality at large. It is less to do with trader specific. But what do you think?
I completely agree with you, Phil. There's no evidence here that points me in the direction of that it was traders to do it. I know that Jeff had that like comment that he made at the premiere, I think, of 48 about like Survivor Castaways involvement with traders. But even that comment, I didn't really get like, you know, what it is. And to, you know, Phil, to your point and to Brian's point, there, Stephanie, Suri, people have played traders and have come back here.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to, Isabel, congratulations on making it as far as you did. I saw your comment. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and it, yeah, no, seriously, congratulations. But I also want to say things. I saw, Isabel, your comment too about Jesse. I think that Jesse, that is, can I be honest? I think that is more of a, he went on Mr. Beast, him and his son won $500,000 on Mr. Beast. And I think that was a deterrent to having him on. I think that Jesse, I think it's less personal. I think it's more like, look, you just went on the show. You and your family won $500,000.
Really?
Yeah. Did you don't know about that?
I didn't know that, first of all, but at the same time, but like Kyle just won $1 million from Survivor itself.
From Survivor. It's within the show.
Suri won from Traders.
Right, but I bet you they're never going to bring it up. The thing is, also with love and respect, the fact that, let me stop actually, but yes, what Suri won on Traders is she probably won $200,000 versus Jesse winning $500,000. You know, I don't know. But, I do think that the Mr. Beast thing did not work in his favor.
Again, we won't fully know the reasons why people were cut and what not. Obviously, it is all up to speculation, allegations, all of that stuff.
Allegations.
Allegations?
That was the word I used. But I'm going to move on just because this is the talking point I really want to talk about. Eric from Fans versus Favorites 1 and 2. I think I sent this to both of you. I found this on Blue Sky and I was like, if there is someone I didn't think I was going to 100% agree with on something, it was just Eric in general, because I just have never really seen Eric. I've never enjoyed Eric's games, but I then heard this and I was like, Eric stan. Eric had some thoughts and had some hot takes. So I'm going to show you the 4 posts he said. This is just his hot takes on the Survivor 50 cast. Nobody should ever play a fifth time. This isn't personal to anyone. There's just too many great personalities to deny a second chance to. You can't talk about the game evolving and then recast the same few players over and over. I personally think I can understand that sentiment, and I do personally agree. I think you want to see the evolution of loads of people, not just a certain few. This next one, there's almost always going to be some recency bias because it's a TV show and casual viewers will want to see someone repeated from a recent season. That said, one player can be represented. This is where I 100% agree, because Matthew, you said that you liked that we had some people from 48 and 49. I agree, but seeing that there's 5 people from Survivor 48 and then 2 people from 49 that we don't even know about, that's where I'm kind of like, and this is my, I will die on this hill. I don't care who the players from 49 are. I don't think either of them should be on the cast yet. Just because of how, and again, comes from how they were structuring the theme of the season and how they wanted to get everything. Maybe one of them, but having 2 people and then 3 people from 48, that was something I will die on that hill. I didn't need 5 people. It's
off balance, but I'm going to push back on that. We did need someone from 49. If we were going to have someone from one, we needed someone from 49 as well.
And I
that
think
I can actually take back and say yes.
Yeah, and to piggyback on Matthew, I feel like you would need 2 people, because to have one person from 49, you are shark bait.
Yep.
You are done. It is over. No one has seen you play. You're the only person. You're the only representative from the most recent season. You're goner. And so in a weird way, I think that they are looking out for those things where even for, like, we talked about it, right? D or Kyle, for one of them to be the only winner, it would be so I mean, frankly, I especially for Kyle's sake, I think it is already unfair. I think Kyle maybe the lowest percentage to win the actual game. I mean, he literally just got off of a win. But all this to say, I think that, like, they needed to put him and D in there. And I think this is why y'all might have heard the rumors. A lot of people think that either that little Riz God or whoever the other lady is that's coming from 49. It's a random that we all know who Riz God is, and he hasn't even played yet. Just because his name is Riz God. But anyway, I'm like, I have no clue anything about him. Just like his name's Riz God. Anyways, there is speculation that one of those 2 is the winner of that season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from the fact that, once again, just to have one winner on a season, absolute shark bait. Even 2, it feels like good luck. So a lot of people think that either Riz God or the other woman might be a winner.
It's so sad that we know Rizzo's name just because it's Rizzo. Yeah. Brian, I agree with your comment here, and also like Amanda from China, right on.
There is loads of people I want to, like, when you were both saying like, oh, it's this Amanda. She came back straight away. Got to the final tribal back to back. You've got Rupert. He came back and did really well. You have Russell.
Yes.
Don't like that I'm saying his name, but he is perfectly example. He came back. So it's pushing back on your point, Phil, where Zans, I'm officially saying this, I don't agree with Phil, where you said that it's just shark bait, because we've seen time and time again, people have come back.
You were also the person saying, I don't think anyone from 49 should be on this cast.
No.
That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. Eat them up, Matthew. Eat them up.
So no, because what I'm saying is, I'm still on that hill. I don't want to see either of them on the TV. I will die on that hill. I don't care. I will die on that hill. But the points that you made on the sense of they will just be eaten up, that them coming back on the show will be eaten up, that's where I say, actually, no, because we've seen that they won't. I still don't want to see them on the show. I don't want to see 5 people from 48 and 49. I don't care at this point. I don't need to see Joe back. I don't need to see Kyle back. I'll have Camilla happily. The rest of them I don't need.
I like the fact that we have the Lydia B. Collins of Survivor here.
And I will say, Ollie, what I do agree with is get us someone from 41. Get us someone from. Oh my gosh! Wait a second. I just want to pause right now. I think that, thank you so much, Isabel. This is awesome. Oh my god. we love you. All of y'all in the chat, we have so much love for you. It really feels like we have additional podcasters. We talk about it all the time. Offline, we talk about you all. We're like, oh my gosh, Sam's coming. You all are a part of the Survivor Now family.
Yes.
Okay. And we are just so thankful. Isabel, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Thank you, Isabel.
I'd also just like to post Sincere's comment saying he sees my point, but that's just continuing.
Oh my God. We're over that.
Do we got anything else? Because I've still got 2 things of Eric to.
Yeah, you got it.
Literally, I think I said this to Phil. I was like, well, as soon as I saw Eric's, I was like, oh my God. He also said this might be an unpopular opinion, but I always want to see players without a prior network of relationships in the game. I can't stand pre-game alliances. And I kind of agree with that, because we look back to Second Chances, where there was a certain Ryman who was pre-gaming till the cows came home, and that bit him in the butt round 2. And I have heard that there have been some pre-gaming. I'm not going to call anyone out for it. But... And finally, the last thing that Eric said, which is to your point, Phil, there's definitely a bubble around production and probes with respect to constructive criticism. But I think that's more of an issue within the entertainment industry and not specifically Survivor.
Yes.
It's in the hands of the fans, but not for some important aspects. And this tweet, Eric, I completely agree with you, because in terms of what the fans were wanting, the fans had been so vocal on people that they would have loved to have seen. And it does feel like there's been a slap in the face. So that's why I really agree with this comment. What are you two both looking at? I thought you were both laughing at something. Was it Isabel's comment?
Isabel's comment being, of course, the co-president of the Kenzie fan club. Respect. I love that.
Ali. Yes. The thought of someone supporting Ali tickled my stomach. Ali.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I need someone to support me. But no.
You, Ali.
Thank you. I love you both. But yeah, this because I do feel like this is very true, and I feel like this is kind of like an open secret within the Survivor world. It's kind of like we all know, we all joke about it. But I feel like we really saw it with this cast. Personally, I don't know if you two have any comments about anything Eric said.
I just think, look, these are really insightful tweets, and these are blue skies. What do they call it?
I was about to say blue skies.
These are really he's just putting out some really insightful takes. Listen to your past cast members. They have seen it from both sides. Eric, I'm sure he has the same thought as a lot of these people out here these days, which is, look, I'm not going back on. It's pretty much over for me. I'm going to speak out what I actually think. And kudos to him.
I will say he did post a little bit more in the comments saying that right now he would not return just due to his family. But he would consider coming back if the time was right. So we're moving on to some other castaways who are sending love to their cast that maybe we didn't see get on. We have High back again from 42 saying that he really needed to see those 4 on the cast, which is Shan, Omar, Jesse, and Carolyn. We had that big conversation earlier. We then also have Evie again. She's sending love to her 41 castmates to see that no one got on, but she was like, do apologize there. They are so pumped for 50. Just wish to see some 41 representative. And also it's Heidi from 44. Heidi put a lovely video out. I really wanted to highlight this. She's sending her love to her castmates that didn't get cast. She wished to see some 44 representation, but she actually also sent some love to the alumni in general and said, if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to vent to, my DMs are open. I will hear you. I will listen to you. I will hear what you have to say and I will acknowledge you. So I would say to everyone, go check out Heidi on Instagram. That video itself should get so much love and stuff. So I just wanted to point that out.
Man, Heidi's great. I mean,
Yes.
what a kind offer and such a selfless thing to do, unless she's pre-gaming for second chances. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm sure this is truly from the goodness of her heart, and this is seriously so kind. And I just think that like it is a community after all, and I like these moments when it feels as such.
Yeah, and having met Heidi, that does not surprise me at all that she would offer this. But jumping on this slide, it's like it's such a reminder. Like those first new era seasons are not accounted for, in this cast, and
so
it's
strange,
wild.
So strange.
Yeah, because that was why I had my disdain about kind of the new era things, because you've got obviously 12 people from the new era. You've got one person from 41 to 44, and then you've got 11 people from 45 to 49. That's why I had my issues with the unbalance of casting. That's why I was very vocal in the fact of screw half those people from 48 and 49, because we want a true representation. We want a celebration of Survivor. Why are we getting half the cast being from the last 5 seasons? That to me isn't a celebration. That's why I have my disdain. Sorry to push back on that again. Love you, Matthew.
Let me say,
what were you pushing back on? I thought it sounded like we were in agreement.
No, we were.
This is my favorite thing about Ollie. Ollie is just really quick. Sorry, Nasir. I just throw it back. Sorry, Nasir. I remember season 41. I said, "Oh, this guy's a shoo-in. He's absolutely coming back." He talked about how he learned to speak English from watching Survivor.
Yeah.
Where the hell is he? It is so wild that there are so many snubs from these early seasons. And honestly, like I will die on the hill that 41 is one of the better casts of the new era. I think I say it all the time. I understand that season was very bogged down by like the politics and outside of game pressure that these contestants had to feel, which is like is unfortunate more than anything else. But I just like I think that the way that people look at 41 is a shame, because I just think that it is such a special cast. Love Evie, love Tiffany Seeley, love Nasir, Shan. I mean, come on, Ricard, Shan or Ricard, anyone.
Well, in terms of those the older So you've got Isabel in the chat saying justice for Shan, Marianne, Omar, Jesse, Carolyn, plus Evie and Teeny, Sincere, Ran or Shan or I literally just put them both together then. Shan or Ricard should be back. I agree. Also, he's saying Jesse and Cassidy. Cassidy is someone I thought could have been in the casting process, but no, didn't see that. But speaking of snubs and people that we didn't see get on the cast and the fans were showing a lot of love to, that's what we've got coming up now. So we have got from Jesse, funny enough, from 43. He says, my DMs have not popped off like this since I lost $1 million. Thank you, love you all. Natalie Bolton from Fans versus Favorites. I will die on this hill. Natalie Bolton should have been returned so long ago. But she had so much love from people. I actually got to, I had put a post up and she was one of the people I wanted on the show. She sent some love to me. I sent some love back to her. She knows that the fans were rooting for her. So send some love, Natalie Bolton's. Wait, I'm so intrigued by Matthew's.
Same. I was like, what captured his? Go ahead, please.
I love Natalie Bolton so much. And I think the fact that like we got that could have been timeline of her on Heroes versus Villains. If you've all, there was a cast photo of her. She was an alternate on that season. And the fact that it's sad, Jerry was more vocal about it. I know we'll get there, but I think Natalie in how she's been posting has also been like, I was game, like I was down to do it. It breaks my heart.
Yes.
It really breaks my heart. And Isabel, thank you for sharing about Teeny and Evie playing. Yeah, I agree with you.
Put that there. Yeah, I completely agree with you on Natalie Bolton. I mean, she has been someone that the fans have wanted for years. And that's why when I throw my shade at Jeff and production casting, whoever, that's why, because when it comes to second chances, when it came to even game changers, like when people do a Heroes versus Villains 2, an All-Stars 2, every single returnee season, you will most likely see her name thrown out by fans. So that's why I agree with what Eric said about production and the bubble, because I don't understand why Natalie hasn't returned yet. Sorry, that is my rant for today.
No, it's not. You're going to have more.
Yeah, I'm going to have more.
Yeah.
Speaking of Natalie, you have Omar from 42 as well saying, so this was a post from Rob Has a Podcast. This was like what the fans voted for them. And he said, the way Natalie would have flossed her teeth with my jugular. And I agree. I would just love to see a thing of just Natalie again. Little flossing.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm not quite what that means. But
so, Natalie Bolton's number one fan here. She had a confessional where she was talking about the boys and specifically Jason and being like, oh, just, I'm just flossing my teeth with them. It's just so good. Like, go back and watch Go back and watch Fans versus Favorites, and you will see why she almost was on Heroes versus Villains. She's amazing. I'd love to see her back.
Deep cut. I like that.
Yeah,
Thank you. It was the deep cut as well of like when I was like Aubrey with Mo and Q. Next up, we have some more. We have Victoria Beaumont from Edge of Extinction. The not starving in a jungle. She wanted to let everyone know. I'll go to the middle one in a second. But next up, you have Julia from Co Wrong, who was talking about the rumors. She didn't necessarily get a call, but she did love the rumors that apparently she was meant to. People were saying that she was going to be Elizabeth Hasselback's alternate. I just love that timeline. And then finally, Natalie Anderson in the middle. And I think I mentioned this, and I think this was Phil's big reaction on like when we're talking away. I said that Natalie Bolton didn't even get a call. She revealed in her Instagram story that she didn't get a call. I believe it was Phil. It could have been someone else if I'm wrong now. So sorry. But yeah, Natalie Bolton did not get a call for 50. And to me, even though people have disdain on whether they wanted winners or not, the fact that Natalie Anderson was not in contention, I'm like, what? And also, sorry if I said something wrong.
Phil?
No, you were saying Natalie Bolton for a second.
Yeah, I clocked it in my head.
You got it. Yep. Yeah, I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy that she didn't get a call, especially because, I mean, shouldn't be forgotten, Natalie, like, sure, her Winners at War stretch was very unique, right? Mm-hmm. But in its unique fashion, I think that she played that game as best as she could, given the circumstances. I mean, they got her out of there immediately. And the fact that she was working the edge, and I remember, if you go back and you listen to the like the postseason interviews from castmates on that season, the amount of people that actually spent time on the edge, they all gave Natalie so much credit. They said Natalie was working the edge like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. They said that she was doing more, like she was more active out there than anyone else. She was finding advantages. She was honestly stirring up drama out there. Like she was putting on a whole production. It just was on this separate island that we weren't allowed to see too much of. And then when she came back in, I also just love Natalie Anderson, to be fair. But I think it's wild that she did not get a call. I think it's very, very strange. Surprising. Yeah. Even.
And I just want to confirm, they because I don't know. So you all tell me. They were contacting people from 40?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so I will move on because lo and behold, Boston Rob got a call. So obviously he declined, but obviously he was. But there was rumors that they did have some 40 winners in contention. I would just get to this now because there was more people. Andrea, she revealed that she did get an initial call and then declined. And then my girl, my queen, Courtney Yates. Courtney Yates, she did get a call. And don't worry, she was happy that she didn't get cast. But she is someone that I would love to have seen come back anyway. I mean, just because she's my favorite player of all time. But I think I said in our little group chat, I said I would have loved to have seen Courtney tell Jeffrey to shut up. Like, I would have loved it. Like, just imagine that world. So yeah, there's just some few more people that, had some calls, but maybe said, no, we're good. Don't worry about it. got a few more. Sorry, I told you I've got so many slides.
Oh, good.
This is like a whole episode of just slides. Two people that were in contention and were late cuts. You have Davey from David vs. Goliath and Abby Marie Gomez from Philippines. I will say, if you haven't, go watch Davey's YouTube. It's a great understanding. He says everything in such a respectful way. And then Abby Marie Gomez. She is someone that I think should have been on the cast for the fact of just personality and also celebration. You want to talk about the celebration of Survivor. No one whose first season was in the 20s is technically represented in this cast. So I understand Abby. I know why she was all in her feelings. So I just send a lot of love to Abby. I don't know if either of you two have.
I have to watch Davey's video. I haven't seen it yet. So it's cool to know about it now. Abby Maria, I'm heartbroken that she's not on the cast, especially because I know that she was one of the more outspoken about her support of the season, her support of Survivor in general, and also just like the excitement about it. And I think I'd love to know their reasoning, because if I was a producer, I would trust Abby Maria to go out there and make excellent TV without putting the energy in making excellent TV. Like, I just think that it would just come naturally with casting her. So, you know, it is what it is. And Sincere, maybe I do feel like she had her moments with strategy. So like, it would be even cool to see if she built off of that, you know?
Well, that's what I would be really excited to see. I mean, I saw she had an interview with Rob, and I think like in the last calendar year, perhaps. And she talked about the fact that she just looks back at her game so differently. You know, like, people forget she had like just immigrated to she had come to America. She like didn't even she was saying she was like, I was still like figuring out how to speak English in some senses. And next thing you know, they put me out on this island. Like, I would love to see the Abby Maria that is a little more a little older, more mature, more measured, honestly, just a little bit more just tapped in to like the show that she's on, you know? And I think that's like that's what we like from returning seasons, is to see how people transform, you know? And I do think that Abby is someone where, yes, she would still bring the good TV, because I don't think that she can help herself. But on top of that, I think that she would just be, I think that we would see something new from her, which is what I ask for most of these people. So I do think that is that's a proper snub.
Yeah. For Abby Maria, it doesn't feel like her story ended.
No, agreed. Imagine, I just had this thought came into my head. Imagine if you had Abby, Angelina, and Q all in an alliance together. Oh my God. That would have been...
Don't even tease us with that, since it's not going to happen.
I know, sadly. I will quickly move on then to another person that was a late deletion, Jonathan Penner, who I agree think was a snub. This is my hot take. I personally, and people can disagree or agree with me, I would have swapped Penner out for Ozzy, just because I think Penner's story, I think we still had some more things to go there. But yes, Penner did reveal that he was a late deletion from Survivor 50. But I do love the fact he goes, I can't argue with people like Mike White, Ozzy, and Coach. And he sends his congratulations out and does it in a really nice way. So I wanted to give him some love there. Cool to move on.
I met Penner. I love Penner. I feel bad that Penner's not here.
Yes, agreed. And then two more. This one was a surprise. One was just a funny one. You have, I'll do the funny one first. Donovan from...
I forgot Donovan existed. Lord with Love.
Donovan from Ghost Island. Well, we are not on 50. They couldn't afford to pay the closed captioning overtime for Survivor 50. I thought that was hilarious.
It's really funny.
And then this one, Miss Danielle Nathan. People might not know, this was Danielle De Lorenzo from Panama and Heroes vs. Villains. She revealed in this. So this is actually a comment from a post that I found. I think I was one of the last ones to be told I wasn't going on. So she was in the casting process for a long time. And that surprises me because when you were hearing the rumored names and everything that was going on, I didn't hear Danielle. So the fact that I've now heard Danielle, I was like, oh, really? Like part of me would have loved to have seen Danielle come on, but that's just me. I am going to move on though to the big talking point, or the big person, the one person that has been very vocal, rightfully so, and that's Jerry Manthey, all the way back from Australian Outback. It started with this post here where it was just titled Survivor Season 50, and then obviously the reactions were there, everyone was posting. So then the middle one is of Jerry just sending her love and thanking everyone for everything that's going on, and also kind of revealing a bit. And then the one on the end is actually, so it says, I said all I needed to say, #self-care. She did a podcast with Johnny Fairplay, and they were also joined by Gabe from 47, where Jerry lets us know everything, that how she was feeling, and actually gives some retrospective on other people that were casted and why she felt like she may have been a better fit. She was very candid, and I would recommend everyone go watching that and go send Jerry some love. I sent her some love. She is soaking up the love, I can say, like a sponge. She appreciates everyone. She let me know that, and I said, it's fine to say. But yeah, she said that she's soaking up the love like a sponge and she appreciates everyone. I know that I think Matthew wanted to touch on this. Do it. Say your piece. Do an Ollie.
This broke my heart. To see Jerry. I'm so appreciative that she was so candid about her feelings and not holding back. I think, like, why hold back in this situation? It sounds like the casting process for 50 took its toll on everyone who went through it. Especially, you talked about Danielle. You talked about we're talking about Jerry now. To make it that far into the process and thinking, and I agree with you, Isabel. She's great, thinking, I feel like I'm gonna start tearing up, but thinking that you've contributed so much to this show. I can't argue with that. I don't think anyone can argue with that. Jerry has contributed so much to Survivor. She came on our tiny little live stream. I wasn't here that day, and I feel even worse that I couldn't be there that day. But to talk about Survivor with Phil and Ollie, she's been in the community. She's been an advocate for the show. The thing that really got me in her posts, especially in that cameo that she posted on Instagram, was when she talked about being over 50 and when she talked about being 54. And saying, people always say that when you get past a certain age, you just kind of become invisible. And Jerry, if you happen to find this clip, you are by no means invisible to me, to us, to the Survivor community. I feel terrible that is the feeling that you've gotten from this experience, because I can see why. So thanks for letting me share my piece. I feel like I have more to say, but it's just, Jerry, I love you. Thank you for all you contributed to the show. And I'm sorry you didn't get this opportunity.
Yeah. And I want to really just quickly jump in here just to add to, before you go, Phil, to what you were saying, Matthew, because this is also touching on the YouTube video. She actually talks about, she loves the community, she loves the fans, and she even openly says, like, this isn't me being arrogant. I love the community. I will always do so much for the community. I love them. I love Survivor. I'll do everything. And she does mention that other people that maybe were cast don't show that. And I think that, and I don't think that's her being shady. I don't think that's her being rude. That's her being factual. There are some people on this cast that I think haven't really shown Survivor or the community or the fans much love, of kind of like just, there was periods where they went, nope. And now you've got someone that has been such a such a cheerleader of the show, such a cheerleader of the community, such a cheerleader of the fans, gets snubbed so late. Like, that's why I want to send my love to Jerry, because she deserves all the love. Like you said, Matthew, She came on our podcast, and it was such a joy to have her. It was so refreshing to hear her view on Survivor, especially being one of the first people to play the game and seeing that evolution and still seeing her love the show as much. So yes, Jerry, if you do come across this, please know that we love you. And you are welcome back anytime. We will always be here for you. Phil, go ahead.
I mean, shoot, you guys took all the talking points. Yeah, it's. I mean, this is sad. I mean, I guess I'll say is, I had the luxury, the pleasure of chatting with Jerry alongside you, Ollie. She was so generous with her time. She was so forthright with her thoughts. I was, I was almost blown away. I was like, oh my God, how do we have this Survivor legend just like on our podcast? It's like, how did we book this person? And like, yeah, she does it from the goodness of her heart. Surprise, surprise. We are not paying any of the guests that come on here. Like, they are doing it for the love of Survivor, and, to touch on your comment, Matthew, like, the over 50 thing, feeling invisible is one thing, but it's also just like, at a certain point, like, she will physically, literally not be able to do this, and I have heard that whispered about certain people when it talks about them coming back, where it's like, oh, well, this person's 60. I mean, once again, I certainly don't think I trust he did not mean it in any insulting way, but I know that Stephen Fishback brought up Rupert coming back, and Rob just kept asking the question where he was like, is Rupert even in playing shape? Like, and I think that like, this does feel like it could possibly be the last chance for Jerry to have come on Survivor. And I think that is what a lot of people are probably feeling. That is probably what Jerry is feeling, is that this was my last shot and I did not get it. And while I hope that is not true, if it is, I think it was a bad call. I think that Jerry should have been out there. And so, yeah, you will definitely be missed out there on the island. I'll say that.
Yeah. Agreed. Sheila's just made a great point in the chat. She said, well said, Matthew. Jerry should have been there. I watched the interview. I can say it was a tearjerker. Big Show Gano says, is Jerry not being there the biggest snub? I personally agree.
Depends on the person. For me, I'm going to say yes.
Debatable.
Yeah.
I think it's debatable, but I definitely think that it is something that I think everyone can agree upon, that it is definitely a snub.
Yeah, well, Thomas McGee, I hope I've said the surname right. I think we all agree.
Thomas.
Jerry was robbed. And yes, hello, Thomas. Thank you for joining us. But not to say that Jerry got so much love. Jerry got so much love from not just the fans, but alumni as well. You have the middle one is good old Ben. I said this earlier. Ben will show love to everyone. Ben did. You've got Gio from 43 saying justice for Jerry. And this is even one that I think people wouldn't think that I'd be having this namesake. Nayanka from Nicaragua sent her love to Jerry. I could have had like 3 slides on all of this. And literally, Jerry got so much love. So we have only got a few slides left. So I will try and get these done as quickly as possible for everyone. These are just some tweets that we've seen, so I can run through these. You've got Owen Knight, happy for my friends who made it, sad for my friends who didn't, and kind of touched on the fact that you had, 1 from 41 to 44, 5 from 45 to 49, and also talking about the Asian representation. Couple of ones here. You've got Jem from 46. First of all, congratulations to Gems are in order because she has just announced she is pregnant. So congratulations, Jem. Sending you all the love there. But like I said earlier, Mike White is never getting voted out because people want that White Lotus cameo. And also, there's a reason I love Victoria Beaumont. She will throw the shade. Truly wondering what the decision-making process was for 50 casting. Fans' favourites, strategists. Close your eyes and throw darts at a list. Who knows? A couple more. Penner. We're going back to Penner because he says, why no one over the age of 54 on 50? Possibly Jeff didn't want another 63-year-old out there constantly reminding everyone how damn old they both are. But who knows? If there's one thing about Penner, he's going to throw the shade as well. And then I think we've got just a couple more tweets here. These were kind of the ones when it came to social media, I just found hilarious. It is two. One is a tweet. One is a Insta story. Kelly from 45 needs the wine reward link up. I think it was you, Matthew, that said it.
Someone in our
need
chat.
This link up. Yes, someone else in the chat also said it. We need this one link up. And Shaheen. Shaheen said, would have been funny to bring me as the alternate for 50. And he says, considering he was the male alternate for 46, would have been so funny to do. Yes, but that is it. And that is the tribe has posted. Boys, thank you for sticking with me.
No. Ollie, thank you. You put this together so beautifully. I mean, this was just so well done, Ollie. Thank you so much. Seriously, this is great.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. I mean,
Matthew, you're supposed to tell him he did a great job.
Great job, Ollie.
Thanks. You should have done an Ollie, but no. But no, I think, and thank you everyone in the chat as well, because it was so fun looking at all of this. Like, I am such a social media, I look at everything. So I appreciate everyone joining in and giving their thoughts as well. Before we finish and before I kind of give the closing statements, what everyone's got to look forward to, Phil, Matthew, do you have anything else you want to talk about in regards to all of this?
I think we got through it. I mean, shoot, an hour 41. Maybe I got something for your record. This is I'm happy that we touched on everything. Got to talk about the players, talk about snubs, talk about the social media reaction. I mean, shoot, not much else, but I'm excited for 50.
Yeah, I mean, let us know if you liked having just like an episode of The Tribe Has Posted. This, I definitely had fun going through all of these with both of you and with all of you in the live chat. So maybe this could become another spin-off show. It's our carpool karaoke, maybe. So
it really is.
Yeah, I just wanted to just take that moment to thank all of you in the live chat as well.
Yes, I mean, the live chat is popping off now. I will just quickly run through it. You've got Big Shoguno saying someone should list their top 5 to 10 snubs at some point. We can always do that. Thomas in the chat is asking whether he thinks Sari and Stephanie will work together. And he says he also Big Shoguno's got some points on who he thinks could be cast. Isabel, I hope you're saying give us your top 3. I'm just not sure who you're referring to on that, so let us know.
She said one from each, so I think.
It's snubs. Is this snubs? Okay, we can talk to everyone and see what we can do about that. Don't you worry, Isabel. I will write that down now. Brian,
truly, Brian, the snubs can make a full cast.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I think Isabel wants a winner pick from each of us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Quickly then, Matthew, who's your winner pick? Just.
I'm gonna go with Genevieve.
Cool.
Go ahead, Ollie. No, please. I need a second to think.
Well, you're only gonna get a second because my early winner pick. I'm going with the chaos. I'm going with the negotiation. I'm going with Angelina. Why not?
Oh, huh. I am going to go with. Man, it's so tough.
I know.
I mean, look, more to come. But for right now, I don't know why this keeps popping in my head. I'll say Christian Hubicki.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, we need to come to a close at this point. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been in the chat, everyone that has kept up with us. We really appreciate it. I did post in the chat that we've got some stuff coming up, so listen to what we have to say. So just to let you guys know, we have got a Patreon. So please join our Patreon. We have got some amazing content coming up on there. We have got some revisits, linking all to Survivor 50. Tori is getting a little show on there. So I would highly recommend everyone going on there and looking at what we've got coming up there. Also, we haven't said this at all today, but happy Pride Month. Today marks the first day of Pride Month. And to celebrate it, we have got a cute little thing happening, which is called Pride in the Tribe. That's actually hosted by me, where we look at some of the most beautiful moments of Survivor. Can't speak. The night. Oh my God, I can't speak. My brain's gone. My brain's gone.
Ollie, this is your show.
I
Pitch
know.
it. Pitch it.
Pitching
Quick.
it. So, Pride in the Tribe, we are looking back at some of the most beautiful LGBTQ plus Survivor moments with some amazing guests. And it starts tonight, and it is with, my first guest is the lovely Amy from Vanuatu and Fans versus Favorites. So please go watch that. And also we have got Survivor AU coverage starting. We are tentatively going to be starting it next week. So keep an eye for all of that is going on. But thank you everyone so much for joining us. We will see you on the next stream, and have a lovely rest of your day.